Hey everyone, today I will be presenting on the topic integrated literature review and research gap analysis. And my name is Ted Bahadur Karki, and my course facilitator is Indramani Shrestha. So these are my outlines. So literature review. About literature review, we can say that when we want to do some research, then there is already someone has done on that topic. So when we want to do the research, then we have to search the already published material so that we can have the clear idea on that topic. So for that, review is necessary, and that review is called a literature review. So it includes the various sources like books, academic articles, and more. It summarizes, compare, and evaluates previous knowledge on a topic. So it also helps for a strong academic base for the research problem. And it also shows the relationship between previous study and the current study. That means our current study is also linked with the previous study that can be found from the literature review. So example case, for example, if we want to do the research on the topic like why some students struggle in maths, and to do the research, we have to do the literature review on that topic. That means so we have to we have to research, we have to source the previously published article, books, and other materials on that topic, and that is called literature review, and it is the first step for any. So the next is importance and structure of literature review. So these are some of the importances, and first one is it helps to understand the background of the research topic. So for any research topic, we have to find its background. That means when it started, what is its history, how it's evolved. That all the things should be in our research. So for that, we need to do the literature review, and also it identifies the major concept, themes, and debates. So from the literature review, we can identify what are the major concept, what are the major themes, and what are the major debates that have been already um, already discussed on that topic. So literature review also includes that part. So it also shows the theories used by the earlier researcher. That means various theories like positivism, post-positivism, and so on. And that means we also clear that which theories they have been prioritizing, and we can also align that if my theories align with that the research theory or not. And it also highlights the findings and methodological approaches from the past studies. That means if we do the literature review, then we can easily find the methodological approaches. That means what are the methodological approaches he or she has been used for the research. So that are the importances of literature review. And also finally, it reveals the research gap that needs further investigation. So it is the structure of the literature review. We can see that it is the inverted shaped pyramid-like structure, and at the top there is the background. We can also easily see the background here, and in the second part, that is it is why it is important. That is why the research is important, and then what research has been performed and what has been found out. That means its findings and a specific area you are interested in. And then it comes that part, and current ideas and hypotheses in this area, And finally, key research questions that remains. That means what are the research questions that are still need to be answered, that kept at the bottom uh, mm, of this pyramid. So from this pyramid, it is clear that background has the most important role. It is the first and foremost part, and the final part is key research question that remains. And next is a thematic review. So literature review has various types, and one of is thematic review, and about thematic review, and it is basically a patterns or themes rather than chronologically eliminating convergences. That means the various themes under that topic, there can be various sections or various patterns, and they are called themes, and we have to do the review of that themes separately, and that is called thematic review. And some of the key features of this review are: it focuses on major topics and recurring issues. So and it also arranges literature into categories or themes by categorizing, and we can all easily know that the various components features separately, and we also have the clear and deep idea on that topic. We know the various parts and various nuances that have been used on that topic by the thematic review. And it also makes comparison. Yes, by dividing into different themes, and we can also compare one themes from another, and it will be easier for our research. And it also helps to identify dominant and emerging areas of discussion, and it's also used for understanding broad dimension of research topic. These are the thematic review, and another type is theoretical review. And theoretical review is basically it focuses on the existing theories and models, and it clarifies the assumptions, key concept, and relationship that frame our research. So here are some importances about the theoretical review. It provides a framework for understanding the research problem. That is framework or worldview. That means from which lens we are seeing that problem. That is very important, because uh, everyone can have different lenses on on particular topic. So if you want to do the research, then we should have the framework, or we should have one perspective, and that perspective can be given by the theoretical review. So we need to it is very important to do the theoretical review, and it links the study with the established academic theories, and it also helps in formulating hypotheses or propositions, and it guides the data interpretation and analysis, and it strengthens the academic credibility of the research. So about the empirical review, so it is the empirical findings. If we have the empirical findings like quantitative, qualitative, and mixed methods, then uh, we can do that we can do the review of that empirical findings, and that is called empirical review. So here we can see the components of the empirical review. First one is the title, the smaller one circle that lies at the bottom, that is called title. And the second one is authors, and it is followed by objectives of the research, methods and materials, and finally findings and implications. And these are the basic components of empirical review. And research gap. Research gap are the gaps that has been unexplored or underexplored or outdated in any research. That means in any research there is some loophole, and that is called research gap. So there can be different types of research gap, and here I include some of them. And first one is the evidence gap. There can be the gap of the evidence, and that is called evidence gap. And there can be gap of knowledge, that is called knowledge gap. And practical knowledge conflict gap. And fourth one is the methodological gap. And also the empirical gap, theoretical gap. And finally the population gap. And these are the major gaps in our research. So policy review. And policy review means there are different existing policies or policies or proposed policies, and we can also do the critical analysis of them using the various criteria like effectiveness of that policy, or efficiency, equity, and feasibility. So and that's called policy review. So importances are, it ensures the study is relevant, whether it is relevant to the real world needs or not, because real world needs are um, keeps changing, so policy also needs to be changed. So it also highlights the policy support and policy limitations. By policy review we can uh, easily find its limitations. So it also shows the alignment between research and national or institutional priorities. That means there can be different national or institutional priorities or policies. So we can easily show the alignment between them by policy review. So it helps to recommend improvements for practice and policy formulation. So by reviewing the policy, we can have the idea of where we want to improve the policy. So some of the key takeaways from my presentations are, first one is literature reviews. Yes, essential part of the research. So it is very important part of the research. And it helps organize existing knowledge and identify what is already known. And thematic, theoretical, empirical, and policy reviews each provide a different perspective of that research. So each of them are very important. And empirical review also help the research gap. And a strong literature review strengthens the relevance, direction, and quality of study. So thank you all for my for your time and attention to my presentation. Thank you.